Discussing L-norvalines, we're going to go into a little bit of depth of what that actual ingredient does.
So yeah, basically, when you have this in a pre-workout or any sort of pre-workout with a lot of citrulline and stuff, what that's going to do basically is increase your blood arginine. But basically, over a sustained period or prolonged period, your body is going to release RGNase, which kind of breaks this down. So it kind of, obviously, you don't want to have massively dilated blood vessels to your working muscles. Obviously, your body doesn't want that all the time. Yeah. But then with
it's a countermeasure. Yeah. But then this is a countermeasure to counter that.
Yeah. Yeah. So this inhibits arginase, which is the enzyme that breaks down arginine. So this means that for you, you're still going to be having you're going to be able to have a good pump, you know, when you're still like an hour and a half into your session. So, but instead of just getting a massive one at the start and it fades. So yeah.
It's a Spartan Nutrition, Kraken, one of my favourite pre-workouts at the time being. So if we're looking at someone that doesn't want any stimulants at all, if they're totally anti-stimulant, maybe they've got like ADHD or they've got some sort of condition that makes them feel nervous, anxiety, and they literally are just chasing pump alone. Obviously a product that I tried was the America Labs Stars and Pipes, which is obviously a heavy glycerol Hydromax product, citrulline at high dose, and also is it betaine? Betaine, yes. And again, that's just like 3 components we were discussing before, which was quite interesting. When you look at a label like that, you're thinking that's not really going to do much.
Oh yeah,
but they're super dosed.
Yeah, basically so I've got things like high volume as well. So basically, if you're too scooping this as well with Stars and Pipes, it can still be a bit too much for people because the pumps are nuts. Like for me, I definitely felt using it over the weeks, like the pump I was getting in like my chest and my upper chest, it was getting a bit much sometimes, and I felt like there was definitely a big stretch on my fascia and the tendons surrounded my the anterior delt tie-in, and it was like over time I could definitely feel like I needed to take a break from it.
Do you know when this is great? This is great for someone that's like on a low sort of calorie diet, like your carbs are pretty low, because like I'm obviously 3 weeks out now. And to get a pump, sometimes you rely heavily on the carbohydrates themselves. But if you're in the absence of high carbohydrates, then the glycerol, because of the super hydration, is water-based, as you say. So as long as you're shuttling this with enough water, it's going to go straight where you want it. And the pump's going to be fantastic.
A lot of the people that come in that are like 3 weeks out, it's like when you're 3 weeks out, it's like no part of it is enjoyable. Like training's rubbish, you know, you're eating like carrots. And just to get the volume carbs, that's the thing. So when you have a product like that, and it's like you can actually, it's like a breath of fresh air almost. I've had a lot of people saying that because there's pumping. Yeah, that's the thing. So it's like, but then when you're training, you know, you're a lot more defined and detailed, and then you get a massive pump to show it off as well. So it's really like finally enjoyable part of going into prep for some people.
It's kind of like an instantaneous reward, which you don't get often. One thing I would say about that product as well, depending on training times and how long you train, me and Cal discussed this the other day, because I trained for a rather long period of time, maybe close to 2.5 hours, I actually use the Stars and Pipes in my intra, because I start sipping it as soon as I train, and I still got a great effect from it, because within obviously 20-30 minutes the pump started to get really serious. So if you did have a stim-based pre-workout, but you didn't want to have too many actives going in you at once, because some people don't want a thick pre-workout. You could separate the two. It doesn't really matter, but you could separate the two.
I mean, that's why I like the pre-workout version, the red, white and blue. Because there's only literally 6 ingredients in there. So you literally have 8 grams of citrulline malate, but with this product it tells you the ratio. So you're getting 2 to 1. 2 to 1. So you're getting about almost 5.5 grams of pure citrulline and 3 grams of malic acid. And then 5 grams of creatine, 3.2 grams of beta-alanine, 400 caffeine anhydrous. So that's like fast acting.
If you like caffeine, this is a caffeine you feel very much. I have to say, I took this and I was like, whoa.
So like with this, so you got 400 caffeine, and then you got 2-aminoheptane, which is DMHA, and then synephrine, which is like a precursor to adrenaline. So for me, it's like the caffeine, like with a lot of pre-workouts that don't have DMHA, it's like you do a few heavy sets and it's like you never had a pre-workout in the first place. But with this, I find like you get picked up by the caffeine, it drops you, but then you land on the DMHA, and then like, that's why I love it.
That being present, just it keeps keeps you running.
You feel energetic, like you genuinely have an urge to lift things.
But this is what we say: if you just have caffeine, there is a cause of
definitely, and
you know, over the waterfall. You go over the water's edge, and you kind of don't come back.
That's the thing, and with caffeine, your tolerance builds up so quickly. We'll get onto that of, you know, pre-workouts, other ones. But then so things like high volume, which is another really good product. So you're getting 5 grams of pure citrulline in this one. Taurine, which is another muscle hydrate, it helps with muscular contractions. And then glycerol as well, but not too much. It's like, with this one I find that you get a good pump, but then it's never too far. It's like on
not
the
overbearing.
edge.
Not overbearing.
And then,
so let's talk about, like, obviously cost, because some people don't have loads of money to spend on supplements, for example, and if they had a budget of, say, like £25 to £30 tops, what would be their best option for a pre-workout within that price range? Because obviously you've got such a vast choice here. But let's think of someone that, you know, they work a 9 to 5, they're probably on minimum wage, but they want something that's going to aid their training and something that they can afford. So looking at what we have here, for example.
So there's a few different things, but just to get across, like, I really want people to know the whole goal of the shop is to make sure people are getting their money's worth with pre-workouts or any product. So for me, using something like C4, it's good to start on, because obviously any products, like if someone's never had a pre-workout before, I would never say get sidewalk cracker, because it might feel amazing for like the first few weeks, but where do you go from there?
This is the same with nutrition and you know, other aspects of training. You can't go in at the deep end. If you were to do every technique in training from the get-go, you've got nowhere to go. And if you were to eat all of the different proteins and carbohydrates, you're never going to have that ability to adjust and to improve. So again, like you say, you can start on something like C4, which is decent. I've used it, and then as you become more experienced and more in tune with your own body and its needs, you can move over to perhaps, like you say, the other, like the Kraken. I know you've got some new product in as well, which is the Concrete. So obviously,
but then what I would say is the only thing with these products, I'd only have it if you were starting, because if you're buying a product like this, you can range between 20 and 25 pounds, but really you're using 2 or 3 scoops at once. It's going to last you 10 sessions, and if you're someone who uses pre-workouts 3 or 4 times a week, it's going to go very quickly.
Another bit of advice, what I would say as well, is always weigh your pre-workouts, because a lot of the companies, they don't really mean to get it wrong, but you'll find yourself often slightly underdosing or overdosing on the supplement, and that goes for protein powders and everything. So if you're quite anal and you want the exact amount of actives, just use a digital scale and weigh, because it really does make a difference.
Like products like the Curse, the only thing with this is, like, with clinical dosaging and effective dosages, with the Curse, it's a good one to start on. Again, if you're using 2 scoops, you're getting a clinical dose of beta-alanine, but that's about it. So like, when you look at pre-workouts and you get some that are like 25 pounds, then even some are short. So you get some like, there's a few pre-workouts going about, and you know, it looks amazing on the front. So it could say, you know, there's one, I think, I forgot what brand it's called, and it literally says the world's best pre-workout. But if you look at the back, it's probably the world's worst. But what you're paying and what you're getting is a completely different thing. So like with this, so L-citrulline, this has got pure citrulline, but still only 700 milligrams, and the effective dose for you to notice anything is between 2 or 3 grams. But then if you're paying, this is quite good because you're getting a lot of servings in here, but then some you don't. So you can get some that are 30 servings, that you're getting literally, you know, 700 milligrams of citrulline, or you're getting, you know, a gram of arginine. But arginine is literally, you need to take, because it's so poorly bioavailable. It's such a poorly bioavailable ingredient that you need to take 9 or 10 grams, and at that dosages it causes a lot of digestion problems and can cause diarrhea. And for someone like James, if he's doing heavy hack squats,
you don't want that.
You don't want that.
So
that's the thing.
I think today that's enough for kind of like pre-workout talk. Hopefully we've kind of spoke about some of the individual ingredients and what they're more about. Next time what we'll do is go into whatever you guys comment below and ask us what you want to hear, whether it be protein, meal replacements, amino acids. We can literally go into anything, and it's down to you guys to choose. So have a good day from ourselves and Gym Beast. Peace out.
See you later, guys.